On March 27, 2023, a spark ignited a wildfire. The Manipur High Court issued a directive urging the state government to consider granting scheduled tribe status to the Meitei community. The Meitei, predominantly Hindu and concentrated in the Imphal Valley, saw the court order as a long-awaited recognition of their rights. The Kuki-Zo communities, largely Christian and residing in the surrounding hills, perceived it as a direct threat to their identity, their land, and their very existence. The Kuki-Zo people, historically marginalized and reliant on the protections afforded by their ST status, feared an influx of Meiteis into their territories. The stage was set for a confrontation, a clash of aspirations and anxieties that would soon engulf the state in a maelstrom of violence. The fragile peace that had held Manipur together, already strained by decades of ethnic tensions, began to crumble. What began as a legal debate over identity and rights quickly escalated into a full-blown ethnic conflict, fueled by historical baggage, political opportunism, and social media-driven misinformation. To understand the Manipur violence, one must delve into the complex tapestry of ethnic identities that color the state's social fabric. The Meitei community, the majority group, has historically dominated the fertile Imphal Valley, controlling the levers of power and enjoying relative economic prosperity. The Kuki-Zo people, a collection of various tribes, have long inhabited the surrounding hills, their lives intricately intertwined with the forests and their traditional way of life. This geographical and demographic divide has fostered a deep sense of us versus them, a narrative of difference that has been exploited by politicians for decades. The Kuki-Zo people, often subjected to discrimination and economic marginalization, have harbored resentment towards the Meitei dominance. The court order, perceived by many Kuki-Zo people as a blatant attempt to erode their hard-won rights, ignited long-suppressed grievances, transforming simmering tensions into a raging inferno. As the initial shockwaves of the court order reverberated through Manipur, a wave of misinformation and propaganda flooded the state, further inflaming passions and deepening the divides. Social media platforms, once seen as tools of connectivity, became potent weapons in the hands of rumor-mongers and hate-mongers. False narratives spread like wildfire, distorting the court order's intent and amplifying fears on both sides. The Kuki-Zo communities were bombarded with messages claiming that the Meiteis were intent on grabbing their lands and erasing their cultural identity. The Meiteis, in turn, were fed a steady diet of propaganda, accusing the Kuki-Zo people of being outsiders encroaching upon their land and engaging in illegal activities. The line between truth and fiction blurred, replaced by a toxic brew of half-truths, distortions, and outright lies. This climate of fear and suspicion, nurtured by the relentless barrage of misinformation, created a fertile ground for violence to flourish. Section 4. The crushing weight of violence. The violence that erupted in the wake of the High Court order was swift and brutal, leaving a trail of death, destruction, and displacement in its wake. Mobs armed with machetes, guns, and gasoline bombs rampaged through villages, targeting homes, businesses, and places of worship. Neighbors turned on neighbors, friends became foes, and the very fabric of society seemed to unravel. The official death toll, a grim testament to the human cost of the conflict, stands at over 250, but the true number is likely much higher. Thousands have been injured, many bearing the physical and emotional scars of the violence. Over 60,000 people have been displaced, forced to flee their homes and seek refuge in overcrowded relief camps, their lives upended, their futures uncertain. The economic impact of the violence has been devastating. Businesses have been destroyed, livelihoods shattered, and Manipur's already fragile economy lies in ruins. The tourism industry, once a vital source of income, has come to a standstill, further deepening the economic woes. The education system, the bedrock of any society's future, has also been crippled. Schools and colleges have been shut down, students' education disrupted, their dreams put on hold. Section 5. Justice delayed, justice denied. As the violence raged on, the Supreme Court of India, the highest judicial authority in the land, stepped in, terming the Manipur High Court's directive obnoxious. However, the Supreme Court stopped short of staying the order, further fueling the unrest and leaving many wondering if justice delayed was justice denied. The court's reluctance to overturn the High Court's directive, even while criticizing it, was seen by many Kuki-Zo people as a betrayal, further eroding their faith in the justice system. The legal battle over the ST status issue continues to drag on, with no end in sight, adding another layer of complexity to the already volatile situation. The lack of swift and decisive action from the judiciary, coupled with the perceived bias in favor of the Meitei community, has only served to deepen the sense of injustice and alienation among the Kuki-Zo people. Section 6. A Glimmer of Hope. Paths to Peace. Despite the bleak landscape of violence and despair, there are glimmers of hope, faint but persistent, that offer a roadmap for peace and reconciliation in Manipur. Civil society organizations, community leaders, and individuals from both sides of the divide have raised their voices, calling for an end to the violence and a return to dialogue. These voices of reason, though often drowned out by the clamor of hate and violence, represent the silent majority, the people who yearn for peace and harmony. Various solutions have been proposed to address the crisis, ranging from the immediate to the long term. Increasing security for judicial officers, ensuring their safety and independence, is crucial to restoring faith in the justice system. Section 7. A call for unity in the face of chaos. The Manipur violence is not just a local issue, a conflict confined to a remote corner of India. It is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace, the dangers of ethnic divisions, and the urgent need for dialogue and reconciliation in a world increasingly riven by conflict. The international community cannot afford to remain silent spectators to the unfolding tragedy. Governments, international organizations, and individuals of conscience must use their influence to pressure all parties involved in the conflict to choose the path of peace. The Manipur violence is a test for India, a test of its commitment to justice, equality, and the protection of its citizens. The wounds of Manipur run deep, but they are not insurmountable. With courage, compassion, and a shared commitment to peace, the people of Manipur can begin the arduous journey of healing and reconciliation.